Wake and Rake Podcast, episode 131. Cory Pham, he's back. He's not sick anymore. Cory Pham, senior social media producer with CBS Sports. Welcome back just in time to discuss the Yankees' downfall. This is perfect timing.
Downfall? Oh, yeah, downfall. Fair.
Spence Ward, back as always. Not Spence. MLB data and operations contributed to the Dodgers beat. I don't think the Dodgers are having any downfall anytime soon. Is Shohei Ohtani, like, at this point, like, he's almost getting better, Spencer. He has an on-base streak of 44 straight games, and his ERA is 0. We're just taking this guy for granted at this point.
He's a good player. I don't know what there is to say about him. He's good.
Do you realize how spoiled you are?
I'm not spoiled. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I mean, he's Shohei Ohtani. He's the best to ever do it, and you can't take him for granted at this point. You got to watch it on.
It was a very busy week in Major League Baseball, boys. Very busy week. We have trades. We have call-ups. Surprising call-ups, to say the least. We have perhaps the greatest pitcher, most dominant pitcher, currently pitching down in Southern California, and his stats are just unbelievable. We will detail that in today's episode. Some quirky stats to throw your way. Apparently, there's a New York Yankees second baseman that doesn't know the baseball rules. That's super unfortunate.
Happens to the rest of us.
And a statue breaking in Seattle. What are we doing, Seattle? Come on. Brutal. Big episode.
That was tough.
Ahead. Very big episode. Before listening to this episode, before doing anything, leave us a review. Subscribe on YouTube. If, and only if, you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, you, sir or madam, can win Awaken
Danny's house.
You can have my mortgage. I will gift that to you. But no, if you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, we have a plethora amount of Wake and Rake gear, including this here hat. We have plenty left. So all you have to do, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, screenshot that review, send it to us on social media, and we will send you at no charge whatsoever a free Wake and Rake hat. Not a bad gig. Not a bad gig at all. Download, subscribe, do all the things. Wake and Rake, here we go. Headlines from this past week. Lenny Sosa was traded from the Toronto Blue Jays over to the Chicago White Sox, largely due to the Blue Jays' depth taking a little bit of a hit with George Springer going to the injured list with a broken toe. This was surprising, boys. Another move by Toronto. I kind of forgot this guy was even still in the conversation. Do you guys remember Eloy Jimenez? Because he was just called up by Toronto to the big league club.
My fondest memory of Eloy, aside from a 480-foot home run in Oakland in the playoffs a couple years ago, was the White Sox holding that ceremony for him when he blew out his knee with the jersey and then hanging it up like he passed away and guy was in the dugout a week later on crutches or something like that. It sucks. Like, he's a good player, but like that's what he's known for, is like kind of a meme in like baseball world when he was supposed to be like this superstar, of a player. I knew the Toronto sign. I saw him in spring training. Actually, he was hitting the ball pretty well, but if you can't break camp as a 29-year-old who's supposed to be the next big thing, not great. Not a great look. I just hope Toronto doesn't hang his jersey in the dugout anytime soon. We cannot have a repeat. Can't have a 2-for-1. It's something you don't want to be known for twice.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the next dude. He was top, 5 prospect in all of baseball and monster power. He's shown off the power on multiple occasions. Just never really... Injuries definitely hurt him a lot throughout it, but, I mean, once he was getting the runway, just stopped really producing at a level that... Because he's really just a DH. There's no defensive position for him, so...
His rookie season in 2019, this was when the White Sox had a lot of energy going their way too. 31 bombs, 828 OPS, 79 RBI in just 122 games for Eloy Jimenez. Now, it is no longer 2019. It has been some time since this guy has been putting balls in the spent time last year with the Tampa Bay Rays organization, and last year with Durham, AAA, 40 games, 3 homers, 29 RBI. He also spent some time with the Toronto Blue Jays organization, although he played just 6 games with AAA. This season, 11 games with AAA Toronto, a .257 batting average, 5 RBI, 1 home run in just 11 games. So, who knows? Toronto's hurting a little bit. Toronto's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start. Here in 2026, a 6-9 record. Obviously, they're coming off the big season of just winning the American League pennant, coming up that close and that short in the World Series to the Dodgers. Eloy Jimenez and Lenyn Sosa, a very underrated, good utility player, heading over to Toronto. That's not to be overlooked. Another trade, minor, but not to be overlooked, is the Reds traded Christian Encarnacion Strand over to Baltimore. Baltimore, a little bit of a different story. 97 start at the top of the American League East. Who was it, boys, that picked the Baltimore Orioles to win the American League? That's right, it was this guy, Christian Encarnacion Strand, joining first place Baltimore Orioles atop.
Not even 2 weeks into April yet.
Never too early to claim victory.
Somebody bookmark this. When they finish 8 to 10 games under 500, I want this played back. It ain't gonna happen.
That same person also picked the Astros to win the AL West.
Yeah, who was that guy? It's brutal. This is why we should never do predictions. It never ends up working out.
It's not too late for the Astros to bring back the trash can. You might be okay.
Fair point.
Unfortunately for the Orioles, Adley Rutschman going on the injured list, so that stinks. It's no bueno. Tommy Pham, another interesting call-up. Tommy Pham, yes, he is still playing baseball. He is called up to the New York Mets. Mets and Yankees are really stiff, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper on the series that was down in Tampa. The Yankees just got swept by the Rays. The Mets, similarly, are struggling a bit. Cory, things okay in New York? Is there something in the water? Is you guys not used to the temperature warming up and it takes some acclimating maybe?
It's April. We'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm looking at the rest of the division. I'm not worried about anybody. Baltimore's going to fluke. Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay. Boston doesn't know how to play defense. We're good. Ain't worried.
Tommy Pham, last year, 120 games with the Pittsburgh Pirates, hit .245, a 700 OPS on the dot, 10 homers, 52 RBI. He always seems to find a way to make an impact, whether it be with the bat or off the field. We'll have to see if he drafted himself in fantasy baseball this year. And then finally, Spencer Ward's Astros are hurting. Now, I say that ironically. I know you're not a big Astro fan, Spence, but Pena, Javier, Ime, all going to the injured list. Not a good start for Houston, Spence. Last place in the American League West. 6-11 record. 1-9 in their last 10 years.
They're not looking too hot. I mean, injuries are... Seems like a lot of injuries are popping off right now, and it's not very good, but... I mean, the Astros, their pitching was already kind of thin to go into the year, and now 2 of their 5 starters are out for who knows how long, and you got Lance McCullers and Mike Burrows kind of doing their best to lead the way. And one of their top players, Jeremy Pena, offense, defense, that sucks. That's one of their best bats going out, and it's tough to overcome that this early.
Does Houston have any big-time prospects coming up, Spence, that maybe we should look forward to?
Bryce Matthews got some run last year, infielder. Still young. I think he's 22, 23. He was a top 100 guy last year. He probably would get some run at shortstop. And then Joey Loperfido, another guy that traded to Toronto, traded back for him. Plays some infield, outfield. Really solid bat. But just they're hoping and praying right now.
I don't know if Cam Smith qualifies as a young bat for them.
Yeah.
He's been having, I think he's got, 310, I think, to start the year. He's having a good start to this year. I know a lot of expectations last year fell pretty short, but he's still
Just
a
got to
young
keep
bat.
Jordan healthy, too.
Yeah, he's been hitting the living shit out of the ball.
Is it fair to say that the Astros dynasty is officially like behind us, though? I mean, they missed the playoffs a year ago. They made the playoffs 2 years ago, but they lost in the wild card. I mean, this will be the third season removed since losing in the American League Championship Series in 2023. Again, missed the playoffs last year. It's very early. Certain things could certainly change here in 2026, but it kind of feels like the Astros are heading in a new pathway, and those core players that it feels like they've just put this organization on their backs. I mean, at some point, it's probably time to move on from a Jose Altuve. It's probably time to move on from Carlos Correa. It feels like they have gotten so much out of these players, and they've brought titles, and they've brought Silver Sluggers, and they've brought All-Stars. But it feels like this organization is in need of a facelift.
I'd argue calling the Astros a dynasty is the wrong word. I'm still going to hold... Yeah, to an extent. I don't know. I still think they really had that 1 year. Was it 21 or 22 whenever they won? 17 I don't consider a year for them for bias reasons. But no, I think, Altuve's still productive somehow. He's just got 2,400 hits. They're not going to let him go. They're going to let him chase 3,000 in Houston. I think it was nice to bring Correa back to kind of keep the fan base around because I think they are starting that rebuilding phase. I don't know. I do think that, the stars are gone. I think they're going to be rebuilding for a while. And I'm happy their quote-unquote dynasty's over. So we don't have to see any reliever give up a home run in New York to fucking Altuve again. I'm sick of seeing that little munchkin hit balls 500 feet and just destroy my hopes and dreams year over year. So I hope he retires soon or just gets bounced in the playoffs for the next 3-4 years of his career.
Yeah, I'd say sorry, Spence. I'll say this one nugget here, and I'll pass it your way. But I say it's time to move on from Altuve, Correa, and like their core. But Altuve is defeating my own argument. He's hitting 333 and 983 OPS this year. Correa's hitting 294 or 780 OPS. These guys aren't struggling, but you got to take into account. Okay, it's not just the production on the field. It's okay. What is the direction that the organization is going? And how much money do they have socked up into these older veteran players? And this is an organization that doesn't like signing older players to long extensions. They let Carlos Correa walk because they didn't want to sign him to a long extension. So at what point is Houston going to be like, okay, we have to move on from that core. We have to move on, start a new direction. And it feels like the only way to be able to do that is by having a farm system in place that you trust and can rely on. Toss it your way, Spence.
They don't really have a great farm system either.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah. And then Altuve, I would hate to ever see him in a different uniform. He's an Astro through and through for life, but they are in that window where they're almost a little stuck. They don't like to spend the money. Their farm system's not great. Older players, they got to figure out what they want to do, and they're going to be right at the bottom of the division for the next few years if they don't make a real change.
I think their biggest issue is pitching too. I mean, you look at those core years and who they had. There was Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, healthy McCullers. That's a good 1, 2, 3. Now, Javier hurt. Who do they just let walk? Framber to the Tigers. McCullers is iffy. I mean, there's no real... they had Hader, too, in the back end of the bullpen those years. So, I mean, yeah, they had the great core of Bregman, Correa, and Altuve. And, rotating cast of other guys in that group. Gurriel and a couple other good guys, good bats. Kyle Tucker, too. But you take the fact that all this pitching's now gone, that's really where they lack. You put a solid pitching staff on the team, they're still going to win games. They're going to, because you got Jordan's playing out of his mind right now. Altuve's hitting well. Correa's doing all right. Cam Smith's producing. You got these other young guys who are stepping up, but there's just no solid pitching. There's not a guy who's like, okay, he's going to win a game for us every fifth day. Or a guy behind him who, we're going to take 2 out of the series minimum because we got these 2 guys going. So I think that's their biggest issue is pitching, and that's going to, in turn, ruin, quote unquote, the rest of the careers for Correa and Altuve, at least offensively.
They signed Tatsuya Imai to be that number one guy too. He was supposed to be the one leading their rotation.
Yeah.
I've always made the argument if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. I think if you stay idle, you're moving. There's no such thing as staying idle in professional sports. You're either going forward or backwards. I think if you try to run the same team back year in and year out, you're going backwards. You have to upgrade in some capacity. It might be small upgrades, but you have to upgrade. We'll change gears over to a team that is not struggling one bit and one particular player who is not struggling at all. Coolest thing I saw from this last week, Mason Miller might be the most dominant pitcher of this generation. I mean, truly. 19 strikeouts, 20 balls thrown this year, gentlemen. Let me repeat that one more time for the people in the back. 19 strikeouts. He's only thrown 20 balls out of the zone. He almost has as many strikeouts as he does balls thrown out of the zone this year. He's only given up 1 hit, 0 runs, and get this doesn't even make sense. His fielding independent pitching at FIP this year, negative 1.63.
Crazy.
San Diego had a hell of a weekend, too, not just Mason Miller. They had a 4-game sweep over the Colorado Rockies. And within 48 hours, San Diegans, they got to experience 2 walk-off home runs and, most importantly, the landing of Artemis 2. After their trip around the moon, they landed in, just outside of San Diego in the Pacific Ocean. So within 48 hours, saw 2 walk-off bombs and a spaceship coming down and crashing down. Not crashing down. That's not
definitely not crashing down.
But as it turns out, the moon's real, and so is Mason Miller.
I did some deep dive into Mason Miller, and you take his stats dating back to when he got traded to the Padres. I think his second outing he gave up 2 runs, and in his last, I think it was 37 appearances or 33 appearances, something like that, since giving up a run with the Padres, the playoffs last year, the WBC this year, and the regular season this year. Hitters are 5 for 108. He's got a 65% strikeout rate. I think he's got 35 and a third, 35 and 2/3 innings with no runs, and it's just domination. And as a D3 guy, he started at D3. His story is incredible to begin with, so I always silently root for him because he's a D3 guy. But it's just not fair because he can hum 104 on the black like it's nothing, and then when you have to guess fastball, he'll just drop a slider down on you, and you have to guess, and you have to guess right. And his ball gets up on you because of his size, and I'd love to know what his lines are at the Cy Young right now because I'd take him now for what it's worth. I think he's going to take home he's more dominant than Gagne was when he won his Cy Young award. Might not rack up the saves that Gagne did, but I don't know. I think Mason Miller for Cy Young is a very, very, very not hot topic. I think we should. It's a real thing that could happen this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the line that the MLB odds on DraftKings for you, but
whatever it is, it's not low enough.
It's silly what he's doing.
It makes pitching look too easy. And the thing we're not talking about enough is his closer music adds so much aura. It's sick. I'm so glad they brought that back. And San Diego's kind of like...
It's the perfect place for it.
It is. It's the town that started it. It's the town that started... it was Hoffman with Hell's Bells, and then the Yankees played them in the World Series. And they got Sandman with Mariano, and then every modern closer has kind of built their thing off of Mo and Trevor Hoffman, and now you got Mason Miller going corn. It's fantastic.
You know what we need to do next week is we need to do a power rankings for best walkouts for closers of modern day, current only. Because Mo Rivera is like that's your OG. You know what I mean? Like you almost have to put it up there. But he didn't have the light. It's not his fault. But they weren't doing a light show for Mo. You know,
didn't need it.
There are levels to this, and at that time he didn't have levels. He just had Enter Sandman, which was amazing. It's goated. but there are now light shows, and there is music, and there is fire and fireworks.
Trumpets.
Trumpets, thank you. Yeah, Edwin Diaz in Los Angeles is pretty. I mean, it's cool in New York too.
A little cooler in New York, honestly.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Timmy
first
Trumpet,
time
is that his name? Yeah, that's a little bit better.
You think it's worn out at this point?
Not worn down, but like going full on with the trumpets again, and like it's very funny that all the bullpen guys have like mini trumpets. That's hilarious. But like, I don't know. It's just another person doing the trumpets. It's a little like stealing my vibe type thing because it's not just music over the sound system.
Remember William Contreras when he was with the Braves? People were flipping out because he had the same walk up song
yeah.
as Edwin Diaz. Obviously went just super uber viral with his walkout with Timmy Trumpets, and then William Contreras when he was with Atlanta, he had that walkout song already. Like it wasn't like he stole it, but Mets fans were like, how dare he have the same walkout song as Edwin Diaz? He stole it. Blah,
Mets
blah.
fans are grasping at straws for attention. They always have been.
Mason Miller, 8th best odds right now, according to ESPN.
I'd take it.
To win the Cy Young. Right? He has the same odds as Shohei Ohtani to win the Cy Young, 20-1. Cy Young
He's got a 23K per 9.
It's ridiculous. But, like, is it sustainable? Who am I to question Mason Miller? But here's your favorites in the National League Cy Young. Paul Skeens, number 1. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Sandy Alcantara. I skipped over Christopher Sanchez. Let me rerun that. Paul Skeens, number 1. Christopher Sanchez, number 2. Yamamoto, number 3. Alcantara, Chris Sale, Jacob Mizorowski, and then Ohtani and Mason Miller have the same odds at 20-1, followed by Logan Webb and Freddie Peralta.
If you want to burn your money, put it on Mizorowski. That's crazy.
16-1 odds.
That's insane.
He's 1-1 with a 3.31 ERA, 28 strikeouts.
God.
Yeah, he was hot early last year, too, and they got a gimme all-star thing, and then he fell apart.
28 strikeouts in 16 innings pitched is pretty.
Curious to see what his innings get to this year.
That's the thing when it comes to Milwaukee, right? They don't let especially their young pitchers pitch deep in the ball games. I agree. That hurts. Let me tie a bow on the Mason Miller conversation because everybody was just freaking out. Oh my gosh, how could you give up Leo DeVries, the number 2 overall MLB prospect, San Diego? How could you trade that for a reliever? Well, Leo DeVries is 19 years old. By the time he is MLB capable, and by MLB capable, I'm not saying gets a call-up. I'm saying by the time that this guy is ready to produce and be a critical player on an MLB roster, best case scenario is 2 years from now. San Diego does not have a championship window of 5 to 6 years. You only have so long of Manny Machado in his prime. You only have so long of Xander Bogaerts in his prime. You'd probably make the argument both those guys are actually outside of their prime. So you're already on borrowed time at this point. Now, Tatis
I was going to say Bogaerts is out of his prime.
Yeah. I mean, Tatis is still young. Cronenworth is still young. They still have... Jackson Merrill is still young. You still have some youth on the team. But for this to be a championship caliber team, you need your MLB veteran players like Machado, Xander, playing at a high level. And so in 2 years, when Leo DeVries is probably an MLB capable player, who knows where this organization franchise is going to be? And so everybody was completely overreacting, in my opinion. How could you trade the number 2 overall prospect in the game for a reliever? Mason Miller is making the Padres a championship caliber team. Simple as that. For the next 2 years, you're going to have a championship caliber team, and your team is going to be better at the MLB level because of you having Mason Miller than you otherwise would have Leo DeVries.
Mason Miller's one of maybe 2 relievers in the game right now where you put him in the inning and it's over. I wouldn't even give it to like Edwin Diaz. I wouldn't give it to a lot of guys. I give it to Mason Miller, and that might be it. It's an 8-inning game if you play them. You got to get your runs. You got to make sure he doesn't come in the game. He's like the only guy. I can't think of a second right now, but as of right now, he's the only guy where it's like you're not getting anything off of him.
I love this hypothetical. If the world was ending and you had to play the aliens for, to save the planet, obviously if you had to go with a starting pitcher to save the planet, you'd go with like Tarik Skubal or Paul Skeens. But if you had one inning, you had to collect 3 outs, fighting the aliens. I'm going Mason Miller.
Do any of the aliens have professional baseball experience?
Yes. This is like a Space Jam baseball situation.
Rich Hill available?
Come on. Leo DeVry, by the way, is in Double-A with the A's. Good start to the season. He's hitting .333 and .956 OPS and 2 home runs. So Leo DeVry could certainly make me eat my own words, but I stand by the fact that Mason Miller makes the Padres a better organization or a better MLB club right now, and will make them a better club right now for the next 2 years than they otherwise would have. Spencer, I'll start with you, bro. What was the best thing or coolest thing that you saw from this last week?
Easily Max Muncy's 3 homers plus the walk-off. He's got probably the coolest bat drop in all of baseball. Dude pimps the living hell out of it every single time. And all of them were needed. It was Edwin blew the game in the 9th and came up with a lefty too and crushed that thing. And Max Muncy's just an underrated, underappreciated player for the Dodgers for the past 7-8 years or whatever it is, and he's just a steady as ever third baseman. He's been getting better on defense for the past 4 years because he was pretty shaky at first, and then he's become a quality, solid third baseman.
Big ups
But
to his
going
eye
deep 3
doctor.
times, and Max Muncy's that dude.
Feels like the X factor for that team, and has been the X factor for that team for years.
He's just somebody you don't really have to worry about.
Will Smith too, but like when Muncy goes, it feels like the team goes. When Muncy's down, it feels like there's a little bit of a hole in that lineup. When Muncy's going, it's pick your poison at that point, really.
Yeah.
Cory, how about you? Coolest thing you saw from this last week?
Coolest thing I saw, I'm also going to stay out west, but a little bit north, Pacific Northwest. Our boy Randy Rosarina hit a bomb in Friday night in Seattle and actually won a fan round-trip tickets to Tokyo. The Mariners run a promotion where, like, I think Friday night home games during, like, the 5th inning, they pick a fan and be like, yeah, if they hit a home run here, we're going to send you to Tokyo for round-trip first class. And Randy Rosarina hit a ball into the upper deck and won a fan round-trip tickets to Tokyo this past Friday.
I did not see that. They say just randomly throughout the game, just like, yard card.
I don't know how the drawing works. It was the same night, funny enough, as the Ichiro bat break, so it might have overshadowed it a little bit. But yeah, it was that night. So it's one of the many cool promotions involving home runs in specific innings. I remember the D-backs in like the 90s. Some lady won like $1 million because they needed like you had to pick a player to hit a grand slam in a specific inning. And she like nailed it somehow and made her a millionaire overnight. So
The hell?
teams got to stop doing these promos because they're gonna cash. They're out of these people's hands at this point.
I play this betting game a lot of times if I go to games with like my dad or my wife to spice it up a little bit. And so what we'll do is for every single, you basically do a draft. You each choose 4 to 5 players in each lineup. And for every single, it's $1. For every double, it's $2. Triple, $3. Home run is $4. My wife last year went to a Padres. Gosh, who were they? I want to say it was White Sox, if I'm not mistaken. And she chose David Peralta with like her first pick. I'm like, that's not a smart idea. Like, David Peralta is probably not going to be my number 1 pick when I'm looking at the Padres lineup. David Peralta hit a home run and had 2 doubles that game. And I owed we actually, instead of doing currency, we had to do massages. And I would have much rather have owed her $12. Instead, I owed her 12 massages. It was the single worst week of my marital life.
It's tough.
Very tough.
It's David
Sir, it's
Peralta.
not too late. It's not too late to back out, brother.
She might hear you.
Yeah, I'm not off to a hot start.
It's the best decision you'll ever make, Spencer.
Oh, even the dog's barking.
Weird stats of the week. Detroit Tigers catchers. They're dominating the ABS system. Dylan Dingler and Jake Rogers, they've made 13 ABS challenges as catchers this season. The Tigers, between Rogers and Dingler, have been successful on 12 of those 13. The Tigers are 92% in their ABS challenges behind the dish this year. The next highest challenge won percentage behind the dish is the Yankees at 80%. So Dylan Dingler and Jake Rogers, hats off to you, brothers. You know the strike zone. Edgar Quero, on the other hand, not great at ABS. White Sox catcher. 6 of 18 on ABS challenges this year. Again, putting that in context, Detroit Tiger catchers, 92%. Quero this year, 6 of 18. It's about 33%. Is that like not knowing the zone, or is that a team organizational strategy of pushing the envelope? 6 of 18 is like, it's starting to raise some questions, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's young.
Hey, 33%'s in the Hall of Fame if he's a hitter.
If he's young, his eyesight should be better. He should have a better feel for the zone.
Got me on that one.
In theory. I mean,
I don't know. That's crazy. That's just... Either he's just like, that one felt good, and I don't know.
At what point do you start as a manager is like, hey, Edgar, we got to shut it down, bro. You're having an impact on our challenge. Like, because if you use 2 of them and you lose, you're done. Like, you're done for the game. So at what point is Will Venable going to be like, nah, we're going to take that freedom away from you? It's like taking away a green light on the basis of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there something? Is there something where, like, because the minor league and the major league zones are like slightly different. Obviously, the major league zones are going to be a little bit tighter, but maybe these young guys come up and they're used to getting a little bit off the plate because of the umpires, and then that just doesn't translate in the major leagues because it is tighter. And maybe some of the veterans know the zones for how long, and they know the umpires and what they call the tendencies. Like, is that the relationship with the zone and with the umpire have anything to do with it, or am I just spitting bullshit right here?
I would argue AAA umpires are better than MLB umpires.
Really?
They are more incentivized to succeed.
That's fair.
They are trying to get that big league call-up. If they are not perfect, they will not get that call-up. Big league umpires, they don't get sent down, which has been an ongoing conversation for years. A lot of people are saying, hey, you should get sent down if your zone's not good enough, you know? So I would argue that as a whole, maybe not the entire minor leagues. I'm not saying a single A manager who's in his first, or not manager, excuse me. I'm not saying a single A umpire who's in his first season is better than these MLB veterans. But I think as a whole, AAA, I would argue, probably better.
It could be.
Yeah.
The last one I have for weird stats of the week. Last 2. Nolan Schanuel, by the way, also 0 for 4 with his ABS challenge. He's been the worst hitter at the ABS challenge this year. He's the only hitter with 4 challenges and hasn't won one. And the last one I have, the final dollar amounts, payrolls, was announced. And Juan Soto this year, $61.9 million is his salary. Cleveland Guardians this year, their entire team payroll, $62.3. So Juan Soto's making just about the same this year as the entire Cleveland Guardians roster. And guess what? The New York Mets are in last place in the National League East at 7-9, and the Cleveland Guardians top of the American League Central Division at 9-7. I told you guys, we're idiots for not putting Cleveland in the playoffs when we did our predictions. I told you we would all regret it. Here we are.
2 weeks into April.
I still don't trust him.
Let's take a break, catch our breaths. We'll be back to discuss more review. Now, I completely forgot to bring this up in the first half of today's episode. Cory, you mentioned, for lack of a better phrase, a kill list? That's a little harsh. A shit list, I should say, of MLB players that you have kept up with over the years, of players that you dislike. Please expound on that.
It's not a kill list. It's not a hit list. It's just if I could round up a group of players and I could put them on a plane and send that plane directly to the sun for emotional trauma they've caused me while watching games or negative fantasy trade implications or stuff like that. It's a list of mainly New York Yankees and a decent amount of Tennessee Titans football players. Those are where my allegiances lie. Yeah, so I have that list. It's been ongoing. Started with I traded in 2017. I traded Bryce Harper for Tommy Pham and Mike Foltynewicz. And Mike Foltynewicz went from having a 2.3 ERA to I think like a 6.5. So he was the inaugural recipient of that. He was on the first boarding pass on that plane. But it's mainly like bad relievers. It's position players who don't pan out. It's things repeated bad performances. I'm sure you want me to read some, so I'll go through it here.
Well, can I just intervene and say you trading Bryce Harper for Mike Foltynewicz, like you should put yourself on your own list for that.
I got Tommy Pham too. I needed stolen bases. He had a 2020 year that year.
You're insane.
And Mike Foltynewicz was hot. I needed some starting pitching. And Harper, I was like, I'm not a trade guy, but I needed to get to the next level. And I'm like, if I get rid of my superstar, I got two solid people for things that I need. And boy, was I wrong.
The Braves could use Foltynewicz right now. They need starting pitching. Their lineup's banging again, but their rotation, they got like 3.5 starters. They just DFA'd Martin Perez, who made a couple spot starts for him.
Get Jesse Chavez hot. Let him pitch every game.
Get him. Who's on that list? I need to know.
I'll roll through baseball only. So we got Mike Foltynewicz. I have Gary Sanchez and then Gary Sanchez again. Jay Happ's on there. We got Aaron Hicks, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Anthony Volpe's attempts at defense. He got the biggest fraud Gold Glove award I've ever seen. Somebody watch his tape. He never fields a ball over his chest properly. He's never done it his entire life. The Yankees would have cut him if he didn't eat chicken parm every day. Alek Manoah's on there. DJ LeMahieu's regression. Lefty Yankee first baseman. Aaron Boone any other time than the 2003 ALCS. Who else is on here? Jason Dominguez's attempts at defense. Jake Bird's on there. Any Yankee with a beard. # bring back shaving. And as of tonight, after the Yankees almost blew a game against the Angels, which they came back and won 11-10, but Jake Bird has been upgraded to first class. He's got a first class ticket. That's just a handful. There's like probably another 100 names on there, but
it's probably a misdemeanor in your state. Having
what?
Just having this list.
Debatable.
Like
every Yankee fan has this list.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like
everyone's got a list in some capacity.
If God forbid something happened to one of these people on the list, you might be incriminating yourself right now. You're like, oh, hey, there's a
if something happens,
Yankee fan who has a list, and Anthony Volpe, God, thoughts and prayers, he's on the list.
Yeah, God forbid nothing happens, but if something does and it's Volpe, and like every New York prosecutor is going to be like, yeah, I see why he was upset. I don't think he did it, but I get it. Guy couldn't hit his weight for 3 years, and we give him 1,500 at-bats. Let him go. They want him to be Jeter so... I can't get going. They want him to be Jeter so bad.
No, let's talk Yankees. That's a great segue. Let's talk Yankees.
Great.
My biggest takeaway from the sweep that was in Tampa is I know I've been talking Tampa a lot on this podcast this year, but the Rays are a lot of fun to watch. Maybe talent isn't there to win an American League East title, but if you're looking for small ball and speed and just finding different ways to win ball games, that's Tampa this year. In the 10th inning, Yankees scored to go ahead 4-3. I think it was Saturday night's game, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Friday's. And the Rays, I don't think they collected a true hit. They went sacrifice bunt, which wound up being a base hit, and then they went suicide squeeze or safety squeeze, I should say, to get the tying run across. And then it was infield ground ball over to Jazz Chisholm that wound up scoring the winning run kind of situation. Chandler Simpson stole second, went over to third, winning run. Tampa's a really fun team to watch. A lot of small ball. Like that from Tampa. Tampa, 7-6.
Chandler Simpson, also very, very, very fun player to watch.
Yeah,
I think he's hitting 400 now or something like that. There was a lot of like commentary last year about like he's an old school guy. His OPS is like 600 or something, and they should just move on. But he's figured it out this year. I think in his first full year, and he's fun to watch, and it's dangerous watching him because he could drop a bunt down and be at first before you blink, and then God forbid he puts one in the gap, he's on third, no problem. He's fun. He's really fun to watch.
He's just not great on defense. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he should be the best center fielder in baseball.
Too fast for his own good.
Literally.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. What is his defensive run?
He's like a okay left fielder. Maybe.
David left? He's not center?
No, he's not a center fielder at all.
Cedric Mullins in center.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or Johnny
forgot it.
DeLuca.
For Johnny DeLuca.
You can't bounce over Donnie DeLuca.
Hey, you watch it with Johnny DeLuca. He's former Dodger. My
Oh,
God.
yeah. Dude, Chandler Simpson, good call, Spence. -4 defensive runs saved last year.
He's bad.
And then in 2026, he's actually been better this year. +3. So,
Keep it up.
starting to figure it out, Chandler Simpson. This is a safe space. Cory, I will allow you to vent, albeit it's probably first world problems, considering it is the New York Yankees, and they'll probably figure it out at some point. And they're still 8-7. But again, this is a safe space, and I allow you to vent as you wish.
We were talking about Jazz, talking about the Yankees. Well, I think they'll be okay. They'll be okay. I'll go with tonight. They had a big lead, blew it, and then came back and won. They down 10-8 in the ninth. Christian launched the home run, and then they walked it off in the bottom of the ninth. So it's still there. The resiliency's still there. I think they're still trying to gel as a team, but they'll be fine. Yeah, the big thing was Jazz last week in the Tampa series, not knowing the rules. Like, I don't understand how a Major League second baseman doesn't know, the rules and where force outs are and stuff like that. I get it's a lot going on and it's fast and you got your internal clock going 1,000 miles per hour, but you kind of have to have an idea of where you're going to go with the ball if you get it, if you knock it down, where the most important outs are, and then especially if it's the last out of the game, or the game's going to end right there. I don't know. I think, it didn't handle the post-game presser well.
Want me to play the sound? I'll play the sound.
Even if you don't bubble that, do you feel like you have a shot at a double play there?
Yeah, I was really going to go tag the runner and just throw it to first. I don't know what the rule is if I went to first base first and threw it back to second if it's still an out. Is it still a double play? I don't know. Does it count as not an RBI?
No, they'll score.
They'll still score?
They'll get there before the tying third second.
Well, where it was what I was trying to do in my mind probably wouldn't have worked anyway.
The gets me every time. For the context, people, for those that didn't watch the situation, it was bases loaded. Ground ball was hit to Jazz Chisholm. He bobbled it. He wasn't going to make the game was over at this point. It was bottom of the 10th. He bobbled it and then tried to throw it over to first base even though the game was over. And his claim was, maybe I could have thrown it to first and then thrown it back to second base for a double play. I think that's what he was trying to get at.
Yeah, but regardless, you go to first, it takes everything away from being a force out.
Right.
So, I don't know. I get you panic in that moment, but like, your instincts are like, you either got to turn to if it's at you, or if you knock it down, you got to just throw it home. And just pray you get one.
Yeah. Is he trolling, though? Like,
he might have been.
An all-star second baseman not knowing the rules. Spence, come on. He's trolling, right?
Yeah, I think he was just. Jazz is pretty emotional. I think he's just a little pissed off, and the media being there after the game, like it's. I'm sure he didn't want to talk to them, but I think it's just really. He doesn't want to talk to them. He's kind of just like, get out of my face. Like, he's not dumb.
Yeah. Cory,
I don't know.
disgruntled.
It's annoying. If his job was to troll. He did a great job. Pissed me and a lot of Yankees fans off, but I don't know. If you are trying to get the media out of your face, then just say, like, yeah, I messed up, and you don't make a soundbite out of it. I don't know.
And he's messing with his earring the whole time, and
Yeah.
I think it's just a little like put offish.
Jazz Chisholm has been a fantastic Yankee. Fantastic acquisition by Brian Cashman.
Oh, one of Cashman's better gets the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled with him. When he figures it out this year, it's going to be great, but no, even at his first, 162 games, he's gone, 30-30 or 40-40 or something like that.
40-40.
Yeah, no, he's been a godsend. He's one of Cashman's better acquisitions. So, yeah, Bonehead playing April, who cares? But just kind of funny.
He's a great player. When he's going right, like he's really good for baseball. Like the younger generation loves him, and he's a great player. He's just
Oh yeah,
he'll
just
have
on
his
his
moments.
sleeve. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
The other final team I want to discuss before we have a rating of the new City Connect threads. 8 MLB teams came out with new threads for City Connects this year, so I want to get your thoughts on that. But one more team I want to discuss, and I got to start this off with an apology. We did basically do we love them or do we hate them? Do we believe in them or do we hate them last week? And I completely skipped over the Pittsburgh Pirates. And guys, I call me crazy, but I'm starting to believe in this Pittsburgh team. I've been saying this for 2 years now, that this is a starting rotation that is capable of making a playoff run. You have an all-star in Mitch Keller. You have a Cy Young in Paul Skeens. Now you bring in top prospect Bubba Chandler. They had, a couple years ago when I was making this argument, they had Jared Jones, who was the former number 2 overall prospect in baseball. Unfortunately, he hasn't been healthy, so he's not part of the conversation. But now, offensively, you bring in a little bit more firepower. Too, you bring in Brandon Lau, who's arguably been the best hitting second baseman in baseball since he ever got brought up to the big leagues. It's just he played in Tampa, and so nobody ever talked about Brandon Lau. You have an all-star in Brian Reynolds that you've extended. You bring in Marcell Ozuna, a veteran hitter. O'Neal Cruz is hitting the cover off the baseball this year. You bring in all-star Ryan O'Hearn into the fold. So now you have a combination. Last year it was like all young hitters who just frankly weren't ready to hit at the big league level. This year you have this rotation intact and they're healthier this year. And then you put that together with an offense that has a combination of some young hitters that are starting to play at their highest capabilities, like O'Neal Cruz. And then you also have some veteran guys to mix in to hopefully teach the young guys, show them the ropes a little bit. I like Pittsburgh this year, guys, especially in a National League, or at least National League Central, that is very, very competitive, and it feels like it's going to be competitive from start to finish. Crazy?
I'm not a hater.
I might be.
For
I don't
what
know.
reason?
I just can't see it being sustainable long term.
I didn't even talk about Connor Griffin, number 1 overall prospect in baseball, and they extended him.
Yeah, Phillies extended Scott Kingery too. That didn't work out. I don't know. I know, but no, I still think the Pirates are a year or two away from really competing. They got a good team. They're fun.
It's going to be too late. I mean, by then, Skeens, if they're a year or two away, Skeens might be on the trade block before then.
Skeens will be in pinstripes, baby. Get him over to the Bronx. But I don't know. I don't see it. I don't believe the hype. They're playing well now, but I think the Brewers are going to take the Central anyway. I don't think
The offense is the only thing that scares me a little bit, but
Yeah.
Everyone's
we all know
clicking
the
now.
pitching will be there, but having to rely on someone like Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, a young Connor Griffin, it's scary. Brandon Lau's a streaky player, Ryan O'Hearn. Like there's not that they don't have that all-star type of dude that can lead that offense for like weeks at a time. They're more relying on a group of 5 to 6 players than having that solid dude in the middle of the lineup.
They have a lot of good, no great offensively. I agree.
Yeah.
Now, when O'Neal Cruz is hitting the ball like he is, though, I mean, that's great. Now, is O'Neal Cruz going to be able to sustain a 900 OPS, 300 batting average, and whatever he's putting the ball to I don't know what his home run rate is.
I hope so.
He'll go into his inevitable slump.
Yeah.
It'll be like a 2-3 week slump where everything just kind of evens out.
He's
Even
hitting
when-
lefties better though.
Yeah.
Even when O'Neal Cruz was brought up, he was top 5 prospect in baseball. Everyone said his swing and miss is concerning. He hits the ball as far and as hard as anybody in the league, but his swing and miss and pitch selection is questionable. That's always been the concern, even when O'Neal Cruz was brought up a few years ago now. 339 batting
6'7".
Yeah, his size works against him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
A 1.044 OPS, 5 home runs, 13 ribbies. Quite the start for O'Neal
I
Cruz.
think he's gotten a hit in every game, too, the Pirates have played, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
I'd
trust
love to
this,
see a full season out of him.
but if they can acquire something at the trade deadline, they're in contention. That starting staff in a playoff series, you don't want to face that, because that has upset written all over it. All of a sudden, your offense starts slumping come postseason time, and all of a sudden, oh shit! In a best of 5 series, I have to face Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, Bubba Chandler. That's tough. If Pittsburgh can sneak into the dance, I know it's only April. I know that.
Yeah, but the
You know who
Pirates'
would've
biggest
been-
problem is their owner. Does he want to see him win? Does he care enough to invest in the? I'm serious in the trade deadline. Does he
Yeah.
care to invest and try to make
Yeah.
the team better?
I'm with you. That's my concern as well.
Yeah.
You know who would have been perfect for them? Kyle Schwarber.
They tried.
I know.
They tried. But I agree. It would have been, especially in that ballpark, him hitting balls into the Allegheny. Oh,
Oh, he looks like a pirate.
it's unfortunate. All right, boys. City Connect time. Now I'm going to send you a link to a special post that we did on CBS Sports. And I'm curious. We're just going to go one by one through each of the 8. And I want you to rate the uniforms on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, a lot of our audience is listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can learn how to speak tonight. If you want to see these jerseys, I will put them up on our YouTube channel and on our YouTube account here. So subscribe and catch this last segment on YouTube. Now, my early thoughts was I am a sucker for baby blue. And the Atlanta Braves came out with some pretty slick-looking baby blue uniforms. Now, Spence, I will start with you. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Atlanta Braves City Connect jerseys?
They're sick. The baby blue is obviously everybody loves a good baby blue jersey. It just feels like they've done it before. Like it's not anything too outlandish for them. Like it's a 9 out of 10 jersey. Like it's a fantastic jersey. It's just a little like maybe repetitive.
So you're docking them a point for lack of creativity or lack of
Yeah, like I feel like because it looks like their last ones, the ones from like last year, 2 years ago, were super cool too. Like the red, white, blue, whatever those were. Like those are awesome too. Just kind of looks similar-ish, even though it is a different color.
I also don't love Acuna in this photo rocking the yellow sleeve and yellow wristband. It doesn't match.
Yeah, he always does that though.
Yeah, it's just me. Cory, what about you?
I'd agree. I think they're nice. It really is tough to mess up that color scheme.
Yeah.
Like the light blue, the white, kind of red.
The
It does-
lowercase a hat
yeah.
is pretty cool. I like the lowercase a.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can't mess it up. I think they did a great job, but kind of to Spencer's point, it does seem similar. For not going with the same score, I'm just going to give them an 8. I think it's good. I think they could have done better, whether it's font wise or something. I don't know. I think it's really cool though. I think it's one of the better ones that came out this year.
The Baltimore Orioles went with a Be More text on the front of their jerseys, and the font decision when it came to the number is interesting. I don't hate the look. I like the Oriole sitting atop the Be More across the chest. Love that. The font being so different, one in the hat. And so you have one font as the hat. Then you have another font for the Be More, and then the font for the number is just completely different. I don't love that.
I didn't even notice the number, honestly.
There's 3 different fonts going on. It's just a lot to take in.
Adley's 5 looks like an upside down 2.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I love the color scheme. Color scheme's
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Out of 10?
6.
I was
I
gonna
don't
say
hate it.
I was gonna say 6 or 7, but the 3 fonts now is kind of pissing me off ever since you mentioned it. I didn't notice that before. Yeah.
I wish they just would have maybe went full with the B on the hat, maybe. Just go crazy and just do that for the lettering.
The colors
It's
are fantastic, though.
It's
Yeah,
so
colors
close
are
to
awesome.
being a vest. I wish they would have gone vest. It looks like a vest.
They were so close. They had it, and then they just fumbled it.
Cincinnati, big fan of the red with black pinstripes, and the C logo is really cool. So they're full red all the way up and down, and in black pennies. Big fan of Cincinnati. What do you think, Spence?
Very solid. They are literally the Reds, so why not go with all red?
It's a good point.
Can't go wrong with red and black. Throw on the pinstripes. It's incredible. I'd give this like a 8 or 9 out of 10. The C on the jersey is that's a little off, but I mean, I don't hate it. It's a solid 8 out of 10.
Corey?
I'm the opposite. I'd give it like a 2.
Why? What is wrong
This
with
looks like something you'd see on like if you loaded up like Road or MLB The Show and faced someone online who put like 15 minutes into customizing a uniform. It feels like it feels like their other City Connect. It kind of feels like even their whatever the Raceway Connect uniform was for that game at Bristol Motor Speedway.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean
Those are
the C kind of looks like tires a little bit or something like that. It's just. I don't know. It's so easy when you're the Reds to do the cop out. Yeah, just make it red, throw a C on there. It's easy.
Exactly.
Like even go back to Baltimore. I forget what the color scheme was, but the orange and the green means something like important to the city of Baltimore. I forgot what it was, but like lean into something that with the Reds or Cincinnati or do something with. Like, we're gonna get to the Royals too, but their whole color scheme is based off of the logo of Kansas City.
They should have brought in their like mascot.
Exactly, you get the red legs guy. Yeah, so much to do, and this feels like somebody.
It is a cop out. Yeah,
it feels like they told the Cincinnati department, "Oh yeah, we're releasing City Connects tomorrow. Let us know what yours is going to be." And they're like, "What? We have to do that?"
I refuse to take fashion advice from Corey Pham.
That's fair. No one should.
By the way, the Speedway Classic last year was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. The idea of putting a baseball game in the Indy 500 track was just it just put it in the Oakland Coliseum. It's
funny.
the same look. Like putting it in the Field of Dreams was incredible. That was awesome. That set the bar pretty high. You put a baseball field in a NASCAR track, it's just there's no difference between that and the Oakland Coliseum. Dumb. Milwaukee. They went with the Wisco across the front, and they went with a light blue color scheme with a W on the hat. So they're leaning into the Wisconsin roots. Spencer, what do you think?
Very funny picture of Christian Yelich posing like that. Kind of looks like he's saluting. That's very funny. I like the color of the blue. Like I'd give it like a 6 out of 10, maybe. Like it's a little. It kind of looks like slow pitch softball jersey-y. Like I don't know what the colors stand for. It's a fine jersey. It's just a little simple, I guess.
Corey?
Yeah, I'm on board with that. They could have done so much more with like Bernie Brewer or something along those lines, and it just feels very simple. I don't know. Like almost too simple. Like the City Connect is supposed to like connect the team and the city through the uniqueness of each city or each ballpark or each organization. And this doesn't feel like it does that much. Unless I'm missing something.
I just sent you each a photo. I want you to look at the sleeve, the arm sleeve. and I want you to look at the Brewer logo on the left arm sleeve. That's elite. Now, maybe they could have used that as their logo on the front instead of the Wisco. But I think that Brewer, that Brew guy, I don't even know what it's called. I think that's pretty cool.
Throw Bernie Brewer on there.
Make the whole uniform a slide. I don't know, something.
Ooh.
Yeah, like imagine Bernie like wrapping like the whole slide around the uniform. Yeah, see, that's called the Barrel Man. That's their old school logo from like the 70s, like over the state of Wisconsin. That should be on the front or the hat, something.
Yeah.
Why are they burying that?
See, they seem they're so close to having it, and then they just fumble it away.
It has to be something like it wouldn't shock me if these ideas were pitched and somebody was like, no, we want to not go crazy or be simple. I don't know.
Spencer, what about Kansas City? I'm a big fan. It's a little bit of a blue and purplish hue, if you will.
I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. It's also kind of similar to what they did their last time with the, like, it's supposed to be representing their fountains and like their colors, like representing like the heartland of where they are on a map and stuff like that. I don't hate them. It's like a 7 out of 10.
Cory?
I'd give him an 8. I like him. See, this is what the City Connect should be about. It should be about the uniqueness of the city and like different color schemes. The hat is sick, by the way. The gradient hat is phenomenal, and it's connecting with like the fountains and the whole city. I think it's great. I think this is what a creative team should do with uniforms and the City Connects, and I think they did a great job of it.
I think it helps if you use a handsome guy for your model as well. Bobby Witt as your model, it helps. No.
The Royals should just focus on driving him in a little bit more.
Yeah.
Poor guy can't touch home plate.
Pittsburgh Pirates went with big fan of the pirate logo on the hat. Big fan. The
10 out of 10 on that.
Yes, I'm with you. The Pirates fonts, not a fan. Don't like that one bit. I think that's given off like Microsoft Word font vibes from 2005.
I like it. I think I think this is a 9 or a 10. I think this is the best one any team put out. I
agree, actually.
Yeah, the Pirate. It kind of feels like it's the old font that pirates used to write with or type with, or they used to be on the flags back in the day on those old ships. Or give me Jack Sparrow vibes.
You think pirates were typing?
Dude, they had probably BlackBerry BBM Messenger. Throwback.
I like these jerseys.
These are fire. I mean, again, it really is tough to mess up the black and yellow color scheme and even the whole pirate theme. It's tough.
These hats are going to do some numbers.
Oh yeah, if they have, they're already going platinum.
And apparently, Connor Griffin's City Connect jersey sold out the first day.
Yeah, I saw that all the sizes too.
What about San Diego? Big fan. They set the bar pretty high after their last City Connects. You're shaking your head. You didn't like them, Spence.
I didn't like their last ones.
Well, it was one of the highest grossing selling jerseys amongst the City Connects. I mean, people went nuts for the last one. So at least amongst San Diegans, the bar was a high bar to meet. They kind of went with a retro blue color scheme, going back to their 2000s, 2010s, 1990s color scheme. And a little bit of a Mexican flair, being right next to the border. And I like the aqua number color on the back of the jerseys as well. It's the same color as the Nike logo on the front, and it's a aqua blue on the back. Big fan of San Diego's.
These are my favorite.
Wow.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. These are sweet.
Again, it helps to have a handsome guy as your model. Jackson Merrill, very handsome.
Yeah, these are the old school blue. You got the orange and the colors. No notes. Those are sick.
The hats are unbelievable, too.
The hats are incredible, dude. Those are...
It's ballsy to put a modern spin on a retro uniform and a color scheme. Because if you do it wrong, it's bad. It's tough to nail, but I think San Diego knocked this out of the park. These are phenomenal. I'd give these probably a 9. They're really good.
Finally, last but not least, these are the least. In my mind, the Texas Rangers, they went with a
0.
These are just
0.
Garbage.
they look like Little League jerseys. I mean, I think it's cool, like the culture, Mexican culture that they're trying to like grasp at here, but I think they missed the mark. I think it's horrible.
They're god awful. They're bad.
It's like in like high school when you'd roll up to a field, like you haven't really heard of a team, and then you see them wearing uniforms, and you're like, okay, like we're okay. Like that, like you can judge a team based on how bad their uniforms are. Like if we rolled up to a field and saw a team wearing these jerseys, I'm like, we're winning 30-0. It's easy. It's a cake.
We got some Temu jerseys out here.
Yeah. This bold hot take. This is up there with the Great Britain WBC jerseys from the last WBC. Just what do we do? It looks like they. I mean, again, like they have. I'm trying to zoom in on the thing on the sleeve. Like the sleeves are cool, but
Yeah, sleeves are cool.
I don't know. So much you could have done.
Tejas.
Yeah.
Just a red jersey.
Yeah, let's be better, Texas. Let's just be better across the board. All right, gentlemen, I think we can call it a night.
There are 2 teams we could say that don't have City Connects.
Who's that?
Cory?
Yankees don't have. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. And the Athletics.
They never did the City Connect.
The A's would need a city to have City Connect.
Exactly.
Can we take the first step toward having
It was
City
like
Connect
they
by having
did
one?
have them when they were in Oakland.
I would argue the A's have the most potential for a City Connect because they have like 6 cities they can connect. Philly, Kansas City,
So many options.
Oakland,
they have-
Sacramento, Vegas.
They have Sacramento jerseys plus the Las Vegas patch.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's a
But
great
why don't
point.
the Yankees do them? Are they just too cool and they're the Yankees? They don't want to have another jersey?
I would assume so. I think that the reception to the Players Weekend uniforms wasn't great.
Those were just black and white.
No, but still, like people were like, the Yankees or other teams shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. I can say I was at the first game ever where the Yankees had last names on the back of their uniforms, so that was cool. But their first, what's it called? Players Weekend.
Players
I think.
Weekend.
I mean, the management is very old school as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm surprised they even got the beard shaving, or the you can grow beards now. But I don't know. I think management's not a fan of the anything but the pinstripes.
Do you like the blue Dodger jerseys this year, Spence?
Oh, they're alternates?
Yeah,
Oh, those are sweet. Yeah, I love those.
those are cool. Yeah, I like those.
Those are
I think
better
they
than
needed.
any of the City Connects.
Yeah, I think they needed like a little spice.
They've been calling for that for years. The like gray and whites have been like I love the white jerseys. The grays get a little old sometimes, so it's nice to have and they did the blue really well. The blue looks awesome on the jerseys.
Did they have the blues before this year? Like they had them, I feel like a while ago.
They had
Oh
a version of them in the like early 2000s, but
Yeah.
them being like an actual, I think it's their first time since moving to LA. They've had an actual blue alternate in their rotation.
Folks, if you take anything away from this podcast, please let it be, do not take fashion advice from any of us, but do not dress like the Texas Rangers City Connects. Cory Fallon, Spencer Ward, Danny Vieti, appreciate you guys. As always, Wake and Rake Podcast, all part of the Believe Network. We will talk to you all again next week. Adios.